the autumn of 2007, the office of the program Dato Kenda, the Unknown, was receiving unusual calls. Every day, several families would call, telling stories of strange events in their homes. But one particular call caught Caroline Hertz's attention. A young woman named Aylin Larson, with a trembling and broken voice, said just one sentence. "I can't take it anymore. It's getting close to my children, too. Help me." 3 days later, the program team stood in front of a 2-story house on the island of Lidingö, a suburb of Stockholm. The little red house with white windows in the autumn sunset didn't look that frightening. But Dermot Clemenger, from the moment he got out of the car, his face changed. He lifted his head and stared at the top floor. For a moment, it was as if someone had pulled the curtain aside and looked back at them. But the window was empty. Dermot said quietly, "There's nothing good here. There's an old anger in this house. Very old and very angry." Chapter 1. A Family Under Siege. Aylin Larson, mother of 4 children, opened the door. Her eyes were sunken. Dark circles under her eyes screamed of sleepless nights. Behind her stood her husband, Jürgen, a man who seemed to try to be strong, but his hands trembled involuntarily. Inside, the house had a strange smell, a smell of oldness, of dampness, and something else, the smell of fear. Alan led them to the kitchen. On the floor lay shards of glass and pottery. That happened last night. The flower pot was by the window. Suddenly, it was thrown to the other side of the kitchen. No one was near it. Dermot asked, "When was the first time?" Jürgen answered, 2 months ago. One night, the sound of the doorbell woke everyone up. I went to the door. No one was there. A moment later, the bell in the living room rang, then the bell in the children's room. All the bells in the house rang, one by one, but there was no one there. Ellen continued, "We thought it was the wiring. We brought an electrician. He said everything was fine. The next night, a glass was thrown from the table and hit the wall. It almost hit our 4-year-old son, Nicholas's head." Her voice caught. Tears welled up in her eyes. After that, it never stopped. Every night something happens. Flower pots get thrown, glasses break, doors open and close by themselves. And worst of all, she paused. She looked at her husband. Jürgen lowered his head. Aylin said, in a voice barely audible, "It touches me, at night, when I'm alone in the kitchen or feeding the children. A cold hand, its fingers trace my arm, my neck. Once it hugged me from behind. I couldn't breathe." Caroline took a deep breath. "The police? Did you call anyone?" "The police said they couldn't do anything. The doctor said I was stressed. He gave me sleeping pills, but pills don't stop those cold hands." Chapter 2. Midnight Footsteps. The team decided to stay in the house for the night. They set up cameras in the kitchen, hallway, and living room. The sound technician placed sensitive microphones in various spots. At 11 o'clock at night, the children were asleep. Aylin sat on the sofa in the living room. Beside her were Dermot and Caroline. Everyone was silent. Only the ticking of the wall clock could be heard. At 11:43, a sound came from upstairs. Thump, 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 like footsteps. Jürgen said, "Maybe the children woke up." He went upstairs. He returned 2 minutes later, pale. "They're all asleep, but on the floor of their room, there's a broken flower pot. A flower pot that was in the hallway. How did it get there?" They all looked at each other. Dermot closed his eyes. A few moments later, he said, "It's here now, in this room, next to Aylin." Aylin let out a small scream and jumped up. "What? Where?" "Right behind you. It's looking at you. A man, in old clothes, a long beard, his eyes black and empty, nothing in them." The sound technician pressed his headphones tightly against his ears. "I've got a strange rustling sound, like someone talking in an incomprehensible language." He turned on the speaker. A sound came from the headphones. A raspy, old sound, like dry wood being dragged over sand. Unintelligible words. But it was clear someone was speaking. A man. Suddenly, one of the flower pots by the window was hurled with force towards Elin. It almost hit her head. The pot smashed against the wall behind her. Dirt and shards scattered everywhere. Elin screamed. Carolyn hugged her. Jürgen ran to the window. Who was it? Who threw that? No one was there. The window was closed. The door was closed. The pot had been thrown from a place where no one stood. Dermot said quietly, "This is just the beginning." Chapter 3. A Vigil with the Spirit. They decided not to go upstairs. They stayed in the living room. They lit candles. The light from the lamps was dim. Midnight had passed. Dermot was explaining, "This entity isn't an ordinary ghost. This is a malevolent spirit. It lived in this house for a long time, maybe hundreds of years. It's jealous of this family. It doesn't want anyone to be happy here." Ellen cried, "Why me? Why my children?" The answer came on its own. Suddenly, the kitchen door slammed shut. The sound of breaking glass came from inside. They ran to the kitchen. All the cabinets were open. Glasses and plates were being thrown out of the cabinets one by one, as if an invisible hand was picking them up and smashing them to the floor in rage. The sound technician shouted, "I can hear it, it's laughing." Indeed, from the speaker, a laugh was heard. A dry, harsh, manic laugh. A laugh that seemed to come from the depths of a well. Dermot stepped forward. He stood in the middle of the kitchen. He raised his hands. With a firm voice he said, "In the name of a higher power, I command you to be still. This house belongs to them. You have no right." The laughter stopped. For a few seconds there was absolute silence. Then, slowly, another sound came. The sound of crying. A woman's crying. From the basement. The color drained from Elin's face. "The basement? The basement is locked. I don't have the key. The landlord said no one has been down there for 50 years. Jürgen said, "A woman's crying? But you said the spirit was a man here?" Dermot shook his head. "There isn't just one spirit here. There are several. That man was the master here. He killed his wife. He killed his wife? In the basement, walled her up. You said 50 years ago? No, longer, 100 years ago. The body is still there." Everyone stared with horror at the door leading to the basement. The door was closed, but the handle was slowly beginning to turn. Chapter 4. What was in the darkness? Caroline said with a trembling voice, "Does anyone have a key? The door isn't locked." Jürgen ran to the door. The handle was turning. Jürgen grabbed it firmly. "I won't let it open. Help!" Dermot and one of the crew members ran to help. The three men held the door with all their might, but the force from the other side was stronger than anything they could control. Suddenly, a tremendous blow hit the door from the other side, throwing all three of them backwards. The door burst open violently. The opening to the basement stairs, dark and black, lay gaping like the mouth of a bottomless cave. A stench came from inside. The smell of rotting flesh. The smell of old blood. The smell of death. Elin screamed, "The children! Get the children!" Jürgen ran upstairs. Caroline and Elin backed away. The cameraman, with courage or foolishness, shone the spotlight down into the basement. The stairs descended to a place the light couldn't reach. But something was down there. Something was moving. The sound of something being dragged across the floor. "Drag, drag, drag!" The sound technician said with horror. "The sound, breathing. Several people. Several are coming up." From the bottom of the stairs, 2 points of light appeared. 2 white points, like eyes, but not human eyes. Eyes that didn't reflect light, they emitted light themselves. A bluish white, cold and soulless. They came higher. Shapes became visible in the darkness. First, a man, with torn, old clothes, his face white as chalk, eyes empty. Behind him, a woman. Her white dress was bloody, her neck was twisted, as if broken. Her hands were reaching out, towards Elin. The woman spoke with a voice that seemed to come from the bottom of a well. "Come, to me. Don't leave me alone. It's cold, alone." Elin screamed and backed away. Caroline pulled her towards the exit. Dermot stood in front. He raised his hand. He chanted something, unintelligible words. But the spirits didn't stop. They came closer, closer. Suddenly, from upstairs came the sound of children crying. Nicholas, the 4-year-old boy, stood at the top of the stairs. He was looking down with wide eyes. Elin screamed, "Nicholas, get back!" The child didn't speak. He just stared. Then he pointed his finger downwards and said, "Daddy, is that Daddy down there?" Everyone looked. The man spirit had reached his hand out towards the child. His mouth opened. A sound came from his rotting throat. "Come, my son, come to Daddy." Elin ran upstairs. She grabbed the child. She ran towards the exit door. Jürgen ran too. Everyone ran. Dermot was the last one out. As he was closing the door, he looked back. The man and woman stood at the top of the stairs, hand in hand. They were looking at him, and they were smiling. The door closed. Chapter 5. Morning. It was 8 in the morning. The autumn sun was shining. The little red house in the sunlight looked calm and harmless. The team stood outside. Everyone was tired and pale. Eileen sat with the children in her husband's car. She rolled down the window. She looked at Caroline. "Are we coming back?" Caroline couldn't answer. Dermot stepped forward. He put his hand on Aylin's shoulder. "Leave this house. Sell it. Whatever you do, don't come back here. They want you. They won't let go." Aylin was crying. "But we have no money. Where will we go?" Jürgen started the engine. "Anywhere. We'll pitch a tent, sleep in the car, but we're not staying here anymore." The car drove away. The team packed up their equipment. The last one to get into the program's van was the sound technician. He was packing his headphones when he suddenly stopped. He listened. The color drained from his face. He quickly ran to Dermot and handed him the headphones. "Listen." Dermot listened. From the headphones came a sound, the woman's voice, the same dead woman. She was singing a lullaby, quiet and sad. And between 2 verses of the lullaby, a laugh was heard. The man's laugh. A laugh that said, "They'll come back. The children will come back. Eventually, one will be mine." Dermot handed the headphones back. He got into the van. No one spoke until they reached Stockholm.